Hey everyone, and welcome back to our channel. Today I'm reviewing and unboxing some Fuumuui paintbrushes and comparing them to some of the paintbrushes I already have on hand. I'm going to try these paintbrushes for about a month and see how they hold up to several large paintings I'm working on. I'm going to share with you at the end of the video how they did. A company recently sent these brushes to me to try them out, and I thought I would share my thoughts on here. So first, thoughts on the packaging. I really like the case the brushes come in. I often buy brushes online and they are sometimes sent with no plastic cap, or the plastic cap comes loose so the brushes are bent or the hairs have gone haywire and I have to fix them before using them. I like how possibly you could use this brush case when you travel. I also like how the brushes are individually wrapped as well, so the plastic cap won't come off the end during transport. This set comes with 9 brushes and are made from sable. This set comes with 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, and 16. The ends are aluminum and double crimped. The metal parts feel very secure. The handles feel great, and the color is pretty nice too. Now I'm going to do a couple of tests, and I'm also going to share my experience with these brushes while using them on this drawing of a flower I did. Let's see if the brushes hold their shape when I remove the glue or gum arabic. It looks like it does. The tip is nice and pointed and there are no stray hairs. So let's move on to our second test. For this test, I'm going to compare the Fuumuui to a brand new Winsor & Newton Cotman brush. I will do a couple of thick and thin brush strokes and some loops. For all the tests, I'm using the professional Winsor & Newton brand paint tubes. As you can see, both are fairly comparable. The Cotman brush is synthetic, and the hairs don't separate quite as much, which accounts for the slightly tighter loops. The Fuumuui may hold a little bit more water. Now let me test the Fuumuui against a professional brand, Winsor & Newton paintbrush, of the same number. As you can see, the construction of the paintbrush is very similar. The Winsor has a slightly different shape, and it feels a little unbalanced compared to the Fuumuui. You can see the hairs separate with the Fuumuui the longer it is in use, but both hold the paint very similarly. Now I'm going to test how much water the brush holds. Let's compare it to some other brushes. I am using all the same paintbrush numbers, and I'm adding in the Montmartre as well. Montmartre has a very similar price point as Fuumuui, but it's made from pony hair. As you can see, the Winsor & Newton Cotman brush holds more paint, but the Fuumuui comes in second place. Keep in mind, the Cotman line of point brushes from Winsor & Newton are quite a bit more in price for the same size and shape. Now let's try them out on a painting. I'm using an Arches watercolor cold pressed paper block made from 100% cotton. While I'm painting, I notice there are no stray hairs that need to be trimmed, so I can paint fairly straight and detailed lines. I also noticed there are no hairs on the painting itself, which means the brush is not shedding and leaving behind hairs that could potentially ruin my piece. The amount of color and water that is absorbed into the brush is good. I don't need to constantly grab new color or water. I like the way the brushes feel while painting. They have a nice balance to them. I have a ligament problem with my hand, so I need lighter paintbrushes, otherwise my hand will get sore quickly. With the brushes, I can bend easily around the shapes, and the brushes all have maintained their springiness. Now let me do a few more paintings, and I'll share my final thoughts. Well, it's been about a month. I've completed the larger watercolor paintings using these along with my other paintbrushes, and they held up fairly well. I even left a couple in the water for over an hour, and I didn't get any cracking on the handle or bending of the hairs. I haven't had any shedding or too many stray hairs. Another thing I like about these brushes is the price point. They are very reasonably priced. I definitely think these are great brushes for a beginner, budget-conscious artist, as travel brushes, or to use as a second set accompanying your main set. If you want to check out more about these brushes, check out the comments. And if you found this video helpful, please give it a like or follow our channel.